My name is Ralph. I created STEMPad. I have three of my team members here, Elaine, Han, and Alistar. Oh, four, actually, Vivian as well. Um, and I'm just going to be going through a few of the blocks that STEMPad has. And so what STEMPad is, and this is Han, a developer on our team. What STEMPad is it's a scientific text editor. Makes it really easy and really fast to write down or to type your notes. And those are specifically for STEM notes. So if you have a math class, if you have a coding class, chemistry, whatever it is, instead of using a pen and paper to do your writing, you can actually use your keyboard and be just as quick. Um, and there's a whole lots of other features too that I can show you. I won't take too much of your time. I know we have an hour blocked, but probably should take around 30 minutes to go through and have the Q&A as well. And I'll show a few examples at the end too. But I'm just gonna hop right in. Um, Share my screen. I'm gonna just send a request to screen share. There we go. I assume you're all able to see the editor. Hold on. Now you should be able to see the editor.
Yep.
Great,
Yes.
great. So this is STEMPad editor. I'm just on stempad.com/editor right now. Another easy way to get to it is just to look up STEMPad on Google and just click, get the homepage here, and the Scratchpad is on the top right. And there you are. You can use it without signing in. You don't even have to have an account or anything. Um, but to get started, STEMPad is very similar to a lot of other editors you might have used. It supports all of the basic features like I can control B to write bold. I can also insert headings. I can insert tables, bulleted lists, numbered lists, paragraphs, dividers, all the basic stuff. But what makes STEMPad special is its ability to do mathematical and scientific writing in a way that's really easy and intuitive. So if we get started with some math, I can see now I can do slash, very similar to Notion, and type, get in a math block. And now if I zoom in a little bit, I could just start typing. And the way the math block works, and I'm just going to go through all the blocks. The most popular one is math, because it's just used in so many disciplines. But um, if I just start typing, let's say I just put one and I do SUM for sum, it's going to put in the sum symbol. I'm going to write the number one or I equals one, up arrow, let's say to 10 of 10i, right? And that's just going to do summation. And let's say I can do an integral as well. Um, and that makes it really simple. It even calculates it for you if we hover to write down math. So let's say I wanted to do a simplification of an algebraic expression. So let's do simplify. Let's simplify this expression plus 6x minus 8. All right, let's say this was the question. Okay, and then what we can do, let's center ourselves and then do a math block. Okay, there we go. So let's simplify this. First, let's distribute. So let's do 3x cubed minus 6x squared is 2x squared is 4x, oops, minus 4x again, plus 8 plus 6x minus 8. I think I did that right. And then if we combine the terms, we get 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 2x plus 0, which is just equal to, let's put an equal sign there, to just equal to 3x cubed minus 4x squared is 2x. There we go. We just did some very simple math on STEMPad. And as you can see, it was just as fast, if not faster sometimes, than writing it by hand, especially if you struggle with handwriting like I did in high school and college. Um, we can even do things like matrices. So let's say, let's do a 2 by 2 matrix. Let's do 2, 3. And I'm just using my arrows to navigate here for 1. And let's just say we want to multiply with another 2 by 2 matrix. And let's just say 1, 4, 2, 3. Um, we can very simply, um, I could write it out now with the solving of that. So we would multiply each row by each column and uh, do all that using the math block. But I'm just going to go ahead and write down the result, which is just 8. 17, 6, 19. And then we could do something like this to add, um, there we go. And then that's just a very quick matrix multiplication there. So you could do a lot of things with math. You can do piecewise. Um, you can also, there's a lot more symbols that are supported, like double integrals, contour integrals, summations, products. And if you do use StemPad and you want to kind of figure out, hey, okay, like what can I do with whatever block I'm currently using? How do I learn all these kind of features, all these shortcuts? There's a handy little, if you see it down here, a learn module where you could just look up like, let's say math product. And you could see, okay, it's PROD for product. And so if I go into math, PROD, there you go, I got a product. So it's really fast and really easy to learn as well. And there's instructions also for all the blocks that we have. Um, Another popular block that is important, that could be important, let's say for your courses, is the code block. I know a lot of you have labs in your computer science courses that might involve using Python, maybe C, maybe MATLAB is also really common. And so you can actually write code snippets directly into StemPad. But not only can you write them, you can also run a lot of languages. Currently, we support running Python, Tix, and JavaScript, but we very, very soon have support for MATLAB. I know Ronald is something that was interested in running MATLAB for a lot of the students. That should be coming out actually tomorrow or Monday. So very soon we'll be able to run MATLAB. But just to show running a small Python code snippet, I'm just going to bring up a prepared snippet right now. This is just Python code that uses matplotlib. And then if I actually run it, we can see that the result is the graph. And so you can use this to run any like computational code or any code that actually produces diagrams and figures as well, which makes it really cool, really easy to have right within the editor. You can even hide the code there if we want to. So there we go. That's the code block. Another popular block that a lot of the students that use StemPad love is the draw block. And that's actually an embedded Excalidraw kind of canvas within the editor. And this allows you to do any sort of freeform drawing. So let's say you want to draw a square and then an arrow, let's say to a circle. There we go. We have that here. We can also insert some text in there. And let's say you're on an iPad or on a two-in-one computer and you want to switch to stylus mode. There's actually is a stylus support inside of this draw block, so you can go ahead and write straight into it if that's what you want within your editor. And then that makes that really easy for you if you want to do any sort of freeform stuff. Another useful block that we have is, and this is a very new addition, but it's a spreadsheet block. And this can be especially helpful if you're doing any sort of data entry. So let's say you're doing a lab where you're actually like doing anything with circuits or using anything, doing by hand, mechanical calculations, any sort of measurements. You can actually insert your data right into the editor. And so let's say, let's do something very simple now. Let's just say we're going to do day. We're measuring weather patterns every day. And let's just say we're doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I always misspell Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Um, One thing that you will notice is that we do support common formulas and functions very similar to like Excel. So I just press the up arrow to reference the cell above, and I'm going to do +1. And I'm going to use the fill operator there. And then what you can actually do on StemPad is not only your formulas, but you can also insert a chart based on the data that you have. And you can do that all just within the same editor, which can be really helpful. And so there we go. We've got the spreadsheet block. Lots of other stuff to learn about it and lots of new features coming to it as well. But for now, that's kind of the gist of it, the general gist of how it works. Getting into another block. So chemistry is also something that you can use. I don't know how relevant it is for the people who are here. It depends if you're taking chemistry courses or in a chemistry degree, but you could draw molecules. You can also export your molecules and have them in ChemDraw, which is a very popular software that a lot of chemists use on your desktop. You can also upload files from ChemDraw straight into the editor. So a lot of support there for chemistry if that's something that you're into. Another one is, and this is something you might have probably used before, but it's actually Desmos. So if you're doing any sort of math, any graphing within math, you can actually have Desmos embedded within your um, document. And so you can actually just graph here and then just have that there. It's just a very simple graph of x squared. But um, we also support if you want to copy, let's say, math from a math block into Desmos, that's also possible. This doesn't actually plot anything, it's just a result, but it can be used as a calculator or as a way to take your math that you've written out and actually graph it at the end. You can very easily do that with STEMPath. Um, uh, Another thing that I didn't really mention is the toolbar on top of each of the blocks. So let's say you want to edit this in full screen and then come back. That's also possible. Um, you can also align all the basic stuff an editor allows you to do. Um, We do also have a support for a circuit block. It is still basic at this stage, but we will be making improvements to it where you'll be able to add a lot more different types of components, do some sort of calculations. But for now, really basic circuits are supported and very easy to draw within STEMPad. So let's say I'm just going to do basic resistor circuit, can add a diode, and there we go. Let's close it off. Again, possible to full screen, possible to resize and have that all within the editor. And that can make your life a lot easier as well. Oh, let's make it a little bigger. There we go. Um, Outside of that, we also do support file uploads, video, audio embedding. Also, very soon in the next release, again, either tomorrow or Monday, we're going to have support for converting PDFs and images straight into STEMPad documents. So let's say you have your scanned notes from a notebook, or let's say you took a picture of the whiteboard in class or whatever it is. You'll be able to very easily upload that onto STEMPad and convert that using AI into actual writing that you can edit. Um, Another way that this is possible right now is through, let's say, ChatGPT. Like, let's say you're prompting ChatGPT and it gives you an answer that includes mathematical writing, or let's say you uploaded an image to ChatGPT and ChatGPT transcribed it and sent it back to you. You can just very easily copy from ChatGPT and paste straight into a document. And so there we go. I just copied the entire answer of ChatGPT in a way that's very easy for me to edit, like directly within the document. So anything that you think should be possible with STEMPad, it most likely has a way of doing it to make your life easier. And if it doesn't, you can very easily hop on our Discord or just send me an email. And we are generally really fast with bug fixes and feature improvements. Um, so those things are all like it's built to make your life easier and to make it faster for you to do your writing. Um, Outside of that, whenever you're done building a document, you can very easily export. And we support at the moment exporting to PDF, exporting to LaTeX, and exporting to Markdown. So let's say you're in a class and you have an assignment to submit, but they only accept LaTeX or PDF, let's say results to upload to the Learn site or whatever it is. You can very easily do that. So write into STEMPad and then export into whatever format you like. We also support exporting entire folders. So let's say you want to like back up your notes somewhere or have them locally. You can export them all to Markdown, LaTeX, again, PDF, um, through our dashboard. Um, and this is a very similar drive. So right now I'm signed into my account. Let's zoom out a little bit. But you can see you have your recent folders, you have your recent files and all the files that you've saved in the past. But then another thing that I haven't mentioned is also collaboration. We recently very recently actually added a feature that allows you to just live collaborate, very similar to Drive or Notion with anybody else. You can also have public files. So let's say you want to collaborate with your friends on notes or collaborate with them on a lab assignment, whatever it is. You do that very easily on STEMPad. Um, Outside of that, I'm going to show you a few examples that some of our students have been using STEMPad for. So let's head in there and then see an example of some physics notes. So this is just these are just some physics notes that a student wrote on STEMPad. Again, they look like class notes, most likely because they are class notes. This person wrote them down as the teacher was explaining, which is something that hasn't really been possible before with your keyboard. And so there we go. We just have some physics notes, a drawing there. We could also look at some bio notes that were written with STEMPad. And these can all be available as well after the presentation if any of you are curious. And then some Mac notes too. At this stage, I'm going to open it up if anybody has any questions, including team members. This is also for them to kind of new team members to kind of learn more about STEMPad and how it works.
I have a question actually. When you went to that spreadsheet, right? Could you go back to the spreadsheet from that?
With the editor.
Is it possible in the future that we can like edit the font of the graph, or is that something that, or
Yeah.
could it be done right now?
In the next release, not just the font, but there's also like bolding, adding background to cells, any sort of formatting. This is coming quite soon as well.
Another thing is that I know Notion has like an app, right? So it's like more web based than like an actual dedicated app, but it makes it actually so much easier to access it from like my dashboard instead of just typing it into my web browser every single time. So I thought that's something that could be convenient as
Mhm.
well. Is that something that you're considering?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, an app is one of our most popular requests for people to be able to access their notes on their phone or tablet. That is on the roadmap. It's not in the next release that I just discussed, like for next week. This is a little bit on the longer term roadmap, but it's definitely something we're eventually going to have.
And have you tried like uh this program like on an iPad before? Because I'm like also interested in trying to using Excalidraw. Um, since like sometimes typing is just not feasible on an
Mhm.
iPad, and it's not very convenient as well. So just something to consider.
Yeah, like in terms of so right now the way to use it on an iPad would be again go on your web browser, and then just go into STEMPad and then use it there. And then for an iPad or like a two-in-one, you could just use your keyboard when you need to, and then when you want to switch, you kind of turn it into tablet mode, insert a draw block, and you kind of can use a stylus tool here. And so that's the current way of doing it, but with an app, again, that would make it easier and then more smooth.
Has there any like has there been any like cool tricks that your community kind of out during
Let's see. So actually, the this trick that I showed with AI actually wasn't something that I kind of thought of myself until one of my users mentioned to me that that's one of their primary use cases for STEMPad. So that kind of is one of the tricks that I didn't expect. Um, Another one is people using the Markdown export to write blogs. Um, Again, something that I didn't necessarily expect, but there are some people that have like trouble writing any sort of doing scientific papers or writing scientific blogs that includes math and figures and stuff like that. So they do it on STEMPad, export, and then put it on whatever platform. So that's been cool to see as well.
To add on to that, one of our users who takes a lot of notes to study for his midterms and finals, he actually saved his notes in PDF and exported to ChatGPT to summarize the notes for him to study and has really helped him with his midterms and finals.
Oh, that's really pretty cool. I I was like not sure if ChatGPT could like actually read something like that. Um, since like I exported some like my notes and it couldn't really access it.
Yeah, it depends on how you export it. PDF, it should be able to access. Um, if you use the Save as PDF. I know Windows has a thing that's like print to Windows PDF, which actually wouldn't work with GPT. It's a little nuanced, but generally Save as PDF will preserve the text formatting, and then GPT can use its vision model to like extract the text and understand it and explain it back to you. So, um,
I don't know if this would be something you're considering as well, but GoodNotes, which is like the primary system I'm using now, has something like a Google Drive backup. But I know you also have like your own cloud services. I don't know if that's something else that you're considering, but yeah.
yeah, I think eventually. So right now we have PDF, LaTeX, and Markdown export. Eventually, we're going to expand it to not only include more file types, but also include storage locations. So let's say you have your Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive. Those should be able to link to StemPad. So that is definitely on the future roadmap. But yeah, so that's kind of the general gist of it. Um, I think Ronald has a link for all the students in the call to get a month free of storage. So the editor is always free to use, but for storage you get up to 5 free documents. But if you use the link, you get just unlimited storage for the month. Um, I can also get Ronald to send out a link to the Discord server where you can submit feature requests, ask questions, anything you'd like. We also have We're going to announce this on Monday, but I'll let you guys know in a little bit earlier. But we also have tutoring on our Discord, like university level tutoring for most popular undergraduate courses, including math, physics, coding. So you can actually request free tutoring hours in the Discord as well, if you'd like that. But yeah, if there's nothing else, oh, and there you go. There's the Discord link in the chat. If there's nothing else, we can wrap it off a little early, give you the 30 minutes back as well, unless there's anything else, Ronald or Elaine.
Um, I don't know if Elaine talked to you about this, but I do have a StemPad account as well. And I clicked the link, and I was already signed in, but nothing really happened.
Mhm.
So is there a workaround for that as well?
Yeah, we can add support for existing accounts. Right now, it only works on the sign up, but I'll look into adding support for existing accounts as well. And Ronald, if you want to send me also privately the email that you use for StampAd, I could just add it manually myself.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so if there's nothing else, thank you everyone for your time. Again, I'm open to any questions. I'm going to put in my email into the chat, uh, just ralph@stempad.io, or feel free to also use a Discord. Reach out to me at any point with anything you need. Um, and yeah, have a great rest of your night.